At the beginning of Monopoly, each player chooses a game piece and places it on the starting square. Every player then receives their starting capital. The community cards are shuffled and placed face down on the playing field, as are the event cards. The aim of the game is to buy as many properties as possible, because the more you own, the more rent you get for them. To find out who starts, each player rolls both dice. Whoever gets the highest result starts the game. The other players take their turn in a clockwise direction. When it's your turn, you roll both dice and then move your own playing piece along the corresponding fields. Depending on which type of field you land on, you now act accordingly. Exact details will follow later in the video. If you roll a pair, i.e. two identical dice, it's your turn again. But be careful, after 3 pairs, you end up in prison straight away and your turn is over. There are 3 different types of property. Roads in different color groups, train stations, and utility plants. If you land on a property without an owner, you have to buy the property, or it will be auctioned. If you buy the property, you pay the value shown here on the game board to the bank. You then receive the property card and place it face up in front of you. If the player who lands on the free property does not want to buy it, it is auctioned off immediately. The banker takes on this task. The starting bid is 10 monopolies. All players can bid in increments of 1 monopoly each. The order does not matter here. As soon as no player bids anymore, the auction ends and the highest bidder receives the property. If no one wants to bid on it, the property remains free for the time being. It would be very clever to own all properties of one color. This way you get more rent and can then even build houses and hotels on it. If you land on a property that is already occupied, you have to pay rent to its owner. For a street, you have to pay the amount that is on the corresponding property card. For train stations, the rent depends on the number of train stations owned. If an owner has 1 factory, you pay him 4 times the dice result, and if an owner has both factories, you pay him 10 times that. Whenever you move over the start field, or land directly on it, you receive 200 monopoly from the bank. For the event and community fields, you draw a card from the corresponding pile. The card is then immediately executed, and the card is then put back under the pile. For income and additional tax, you pay the amount shown to the bank. Free parking, and only visiting have no function. However, if you land with your playing piece on go to prison, you immediately put your playing piece in prison, no matter where you are. If you pass the starting square, you will not receive any money, and your turn ends immediately. If you are in prison, you will still receive rent, and you can continue to take part in action's end. There are 3 ways to get out of prison. Either you pay 50 monopoly to the bank at the beginning of your next turn, and then you roll the dice and continue on a normal turn. Or you play a get out of prison free card at the beginning of your next turn, or you roll a pair on your next turn, then you are released immediately. As soon as you own all streets in a color group, you can buy houses. You don't have to wait until it's your turn again. You then pay the bank the price of the house. This value is noted on the property card dash. And then you receive a house which you put on the property. Houses must be built evenly. This means that there must be 1 house on each plot of land in a color group before you can build a second one on it. A maximum of 4 houses per plot are allowed. As soon as a plot has been built with 4 houses, you can start building hotels. To do this, the 4 houses are returned to the bank. The amount noted on the owner's rights card for a hotel is paid to the bank, and then a hotel is placed on the street. There can be a maximum of 1 hotel on a street. And also, no more houses can be built. If several players want to buy the last house or hotel from the bank at the same time, it will be auctioned. And if there are no buildings left, then you have to wait until some are available again. With the negotiate option, you can sell or exchange properties with other players at any time. Before selling or exchanging, all houses or hotels in the color group must be sold back to the bank. Buildings cannot be passed on to other players. Broke? If you can no longer pay your debts with cash, you try to get money by selling buildings and or taking out mortgages. Hotels can be sold to the bank for half the purchase price, and these are then exchanged for 4 houses. Houses are also sold to the bank for half the purchase price, and here again, you have to do it in the same order. To take out a mortgage on a property, all the buildings in this group are first sold to the bank for the purchase price. The property card is turned over, and the bank pays you the mortgage value. To cancel a mortgage, you pay the cancellation amount to the bank. No rent can be collected for properties with mortgages. It is therefore really very desirable to buy as many properties and houses as possible in order to always have money. If at the end you still have debts to other players or to the bank, but no more buildings or properties available to sell, is eliminated from the game. The remaining players continue until only 1 is left. That player is then the winner and is officially declared the winner of Monopoly, the board game, by Mr. Monopoly himself. If you like this video, please leave a thumb up and feel free to subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching.